The new prime minister surprisingly made the comment recently that Japan is not ready for more interest rate hikes. A blunt remark from the prime minister that the Bank of Japan heard loud and clear as they have to decide on what to do monetarily. And it's even more surprising that he came out and made these comments because he has previously stated that Japan should be raising interest rates. So a change of tone from the prime minister that's sending some confusing and mixed signals. Due to political uncertainty, the Bank of Japan might be holding off on raising interest rates at the end of the month. Now, the Bank of Japan historically ended negative rates back in March, and they have hiked interest rates once since then. Now, this was a huge shift in monetary policy for the country, and the Bank of Japan has previously stated how future interest rate hikes will be necessary for the country as well. Now, in this video, we're going to discuss how a new prime minister and some political uncertainty are affecting the Bank of Japan's decision making. Now, before we get started, two things that I have to ask for. Smash that thumbs up button for me. Trust me, it'll be good for your thumb. And also, if you would like, leave a comment down below with your opinion about Japan. Japan has a new prime minister. Japan also has a general election that is coming up at the end of October. Now, the Bank of Japan has raised their interest rates out of the negative territory for the first time in 17 years back in March. Since then, they also raised interest rates one other time back in July. Now, Japan had to do this in order to help their struggling currency. The yen was in a free fall, and by raising rates at those two times, they basically succeeded in doing what they needed to do. The yen rebounded from a 3-decade low, but the Bank of Japan has also stated that they know that they have to continue to raise interest rates in order to achieve their goals economically, but they also want to proceed with caution because, especially this last hike that they did, they do not want to set off markets. They don't want their stock market to crash. They don't want it to affect other stock markets, as we saw in the middle of the summer. So the Bank of Japan knows that they have to do this, but they also want to proceed with caution as to not cause fears, not to cause a sell-off. Now, it's been suggested that the Bank of Japan will hold off on raising interest rates at their October meeting because of the election that they have coming up. Now, the Bank of Japan will point to other factors. They'll talk about international risks that we have on an international level. They'll look at a slowing U.S. economy and point to that, and just point to any other factor that they could for not raising interest rates in October. But let's be clear about this. This coming election that's coming up in Japan is definitely affecting their decision making. The new prime minister surprisingly made the comment recently that Japan is not ready for more interest rate hikes. A blunt remark from the prime minister that the Bank of Japan heard loud and clear as they have to decide on what to do monetarily. And it's even more surprising that he came out and made these comments because he has previously stated that Japan should be raising interest rates. So a change of tone from the prime minister that's sending some confusing and mixed signals. Now, Japan's new prime minister has also instructed his cabinet to come out with a new stimulus package as well. He has stated that pulling Japan out of the deflationary stage that they have been for such a long time is going to be a high priority for him. Now, in this stimulus package, he wants to address households and to help them deal with the rising cost of living. It's also been stated that there might be payouts as well to lower income families that come from this stimulus package. Now, we know this China recently has come out with a stimulus package and that it has been received very favorably. China's stock market has soared 20-30% as part of that stimulus package. was directed directly at the stock market, but just a euphoria type of thing that took place because of China's stimulus package. Now, obviously, if Japan comes out with a stimulus package, it's going to look much different than the one that China came out with, because it will be aimed at helping the country in other ways, because different issues between the two countries. But nonetheless, we saw a stimulus package in China recently that was received very favorably. A stimulus package in Japan would be welcomed as well. And without knowing exactly what's in the stimulus package, it's hard to really know just how much good it'll do. But I do think that providing direct payments to households, especially struggling households or those that are just, barely making ends meet, some type of relief would do some good economically. Now, if it's a one-time payment or multiple, all of that is to be decided, but I think that could help to spur some economic activity. I do think for China as well that is a huge thing that they are missing in their stimulus package. I think that as time goes on, the euphoria or the good feeling of that stimulus package is going to wear off, and giving money directly to households that need it so that they can go out and that they can spend. I kind of think that a lot of places are at that point right now. China did not include that in their stimulus package. Maybe they do at later times, but Japan, with this idea of coming out with a stimulus package and already stating the money directly going to households and lower income consumers, I think that it's a good idea. I think that it could be good for the economy, and that's something that's on the table right now for Japan. All in all, Japan has a new prime minister. Japan also has a general election that is coming up at the end of October. Japan's new prime minister has said that Japan is not ready for interest rate hikes at this time. A bold statement from somebody that has urged interest rate hikes in the past. The Bank of Japan understands that they need to continue to raise rates in order to help their economy, but when those interest rate hikes will take place has become more unclear. Now, before we conclude, two things that I have to ask for. Smash that thumbs up button for me. Trust me, it'll be good for your thumb. And also, if you'd like, leave a comment down below with your opinion on the topic. What do you think about Japan's economy and what they have going on as a country?